Today is not only a celebration of our city's progress, but it is also an opportunity for us to come together as a community and recognize the work that we all do every day to build a better future for everyone in Albuquerque. Today we'll hear from Mayor Keller, who will reflect on the current state of our city and give us a preview of what's ahead for Albuquerque's future. I hope you leave today with a renewed sense of pride for the city that we all call home. On behalf of the Mayor and First Lady, I want to extend a warm welcome to all the elected leaders here today. I would like to ask each of you to please stand for a moment so we can all recognize you. All elected officials, I know there's a lot of you here, so please stand up so we can recognize you. Thank you to all of our electeds that are here for everything that you do for our city. We'd also like to take a moment to express our gratitude to the brave men and women who serve in our military, in our law enforcement, and to our other first responders. If you are a member of the military, a member of law enforcement, or another first responder, can you also please stand so we can recognize you and thank you for everything you do for our community.
No, I don't.
So next up, we would like to have everybody please rise as we will, and please remove your hats for the presentation of colors, which will be led by the Albuquerque Police Department and the Albuquerque Fire Rescue Honor Guard. And now I'm pleased to invite up a group of CABQ kiddos. These are part of the CABQ family, and they will be led by 12-year-old Derek Barrett to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we'll have Maya and Jack Keller from our first family reciting the pledge in Spanish.
Juro fidelidad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos.
Thank you. And now please join us and remain standing for the national anthem sung by Kara Hall, a graduating member of the New Mexico Young Actors and an incoming music major at UNM.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
That was incredible. Well, everybody can please take a seat. Collaboration is key to the success of our city, and we are grateful for the contributions of our city council and helping to strengthen Albuquerque. It's my pleasure to introduce a video message from some of our council members.
My name is Clarissa Pena. I serve City Council District 3, which is west of the river, south of Central, and the incorporated areas of the city. So there's so many projects in District 3 that are either under construction or completed, but we have the Southwest Public Safety Centers, which should be coming on board here in the next couple of months, which is going to include the first of its kind substation, fire station, and ACS and community rooms. So really excited about that. And then we also have the Westgate Community Center, which is in its final phase, and we should be looking at getting that done here in the next year or so, and that would be the gym that would complete that fabulous campus over there as well. We also have the Westside Animal Shelter. We're doing some renovations over there. And then of course the Visitor Center. It's the first cultural asset on the west side of the river. And so we're so proud of that. We think it's time that we start to get stuff across the river, and what better thing to have than a huge cultural asset for the city of Albuquerque. For the opening, there's going to be the sign graveyard is getting underway. We're partnering with Meow Wolf. It's the gateway into the city, and with the upcoming centennial of the historic route, it's going to be online, perfect timing. What I love most about living in District 3 is I think it's the best area of the city of Albuquerque. It predates the city. It has some of the most historic areas. It's the town of Atrisco, the Atrisco land grant. It's people, the heritage, culture. And I just think it's the best area of the city of Albuquerque. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Hi, my name is Nicole Rogers, City Councilor for District 6. Northern boundaries are Eubank and Lomas, and then comes all the way down to I-25. So Nob Hill, Mesa del Sol, International District, Fair West. Some of the projects that are really exciting from this past year is our participatory budgeting project, where we had over 500 members from our district really honing in on a process so that community can tell us how to spend our capital dollars in the district. 1.5 million of my capital set-asides went to community, and they voted. Over 1,200 people voted for our growers market, which we broke ground on, and hopefully will be done in the spring on Catherine and San Mateo. We're working on a collaborative project with District 9 on Central. So we actually did a joint Safe Streets for All grant, really collaborating with the administration, Councilor Grout, and Together for Brothers community members to really see what we can do to change the built environment to help with those pedestrian deaths. So that's a huge need in our district that I'm really excited that we hopefully will get the funding needed to fix that. And other big news in District 6 was the EPA and just listed the Carlisle Cleaners, which is on Carlisle and Gibson, on the national priority list. And what that means is that we have contamination in that neighborhood for over 30 years now because a cleaner was actually dumping their chemicals into the ground, making people sick. This is a huge announcement that we had during the month of July, and we're just really excited that that means families that are living there won't get sick. Out of 26 locations that were considered, only 3 were chosen, and Albuquerque was one of them. I love the people. We have a lot of people all pulling in the same direction, and you're gonna see some differences that you can touch, feel as you're going around in our neighborhoods. And that's what's most exciting to me, is to see a physical difference. You know, we are really rooted in community. The people are the best thing about who lives in District 6.
I'm Tammy Feeblecorn. I'm the Albuquerque City Councilor for District 7. We're uptown and the near Heights, and so we're kind of the heart of the city in the very middle. We go from Lomas all the way up to Montgomery, Eubank all the way back over to I-25. Well, there's 3 projects in particular that I'm incredibly proud of.
Based on the security
is
I
our
saw,
new
it was a
shelter,
private
and
security
that is under
force.
construction right now. It'll be open next spring. This is going to be a place in the exact heart of District 7 where young people can go not only get housed, but also get job skills, life skills, all the things they need to get back on track in society. And it's finally coming to fruition. So that's really exciting. Another project that I'm really happy with is the Manal Metropolitan Redevelopment Area. We have a stretch of Manal that has some pretty big problems. All the businesses around that area, many of them have closed, lots of them are hurting right now. We've gotten Metropolitan Redevelopment Area designation,
for my
which gives us
for my
some
members,
tools
there's
to
like a
really
small
be able to
icon
attract
next to their name,
developers into that area. I'm very much hopeful
showing
we'll get some additional
how
housing.
like how many
folks
months
can
they've
be
been
able
a
to live,
member.
work, and play all in that same area. We've been doing large-scale traffic studies of big sections of our district and really putting in lots of protected bike lanes, crosswalks that are hawk signals that are really, really safe, narrowing roads down, trying to slow people down. Everybody should be able to walk, scooter, bike, whatever form they choose to get places, they should feel safe on our roads. District 7 is pretty phenomenal to live in. We have everything you can ever want. We've got entertainment. We've got the new Windrock Park and all things around that. We've got new food halls, restaurants. We've got comedy clubs, movies. Anything you want to do for fun, you can get to it within a 5-minute drive or a 10-minute walk in my district. It's really a great place. It's family friendly. There's complete safety across our district, and we're really proud of the community that we've built.
I'm Renee Grout, City Councilor for District 9.
Matt R.
District 9 is in the southeast and northeast Heights. Our district boundaries are from Eubank going east and Manal going south. I'm really excited about the new playground that we have at the Singing Arrow Park. It's just finishing up. It's taking advantage of all of the lovely views of the Tijeras Arroyo. We've got benches and seating for sunset views. The playground equipment is out of this world really fun.
Absolutely.
Another project that we're working on, just finishing up, is the Manzano Mesa splash pad. That is getting a complete refresh at the Manzano Mesa Multicultural Center, a generational center, and so that should be finishing up real soon. I'm really excited about the Tijeras Arroyo Biozone ADA Sensory Trail. That's completely ADA accessible. There folks can see, they can touch, and they can even listen. And it's got lots of signage, and it's just really inviting. And it's just under about a mile from the city limit. Along with Councilor Rogers, we just recently submitted a Safe Streets for All grant. We're really excited about that, to make Central Avenue much safer, brighter, and we're just waiting to hear back on that project. I really love the neighborhoods that we have in District 9. The people there are wonderful. I just love the parks and the open space that we have just right outside our door, and District 9 is just home to me.
Right, Rami, right? Exactly. This is straight up propaganda.
Thank you to all of our city
This is
councilors.
straight up propaganda crap.
Now, we are honored to welcome a true champion for New Mexico, Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury. Born and raised in New Mexico, she has dedicated her career to building a brighter future for families and communities. From her work to the state legislature to her service in Congress, she has been a tireless advocate for education, clean energy, and ensuring every New Mexican has the opportunity to thrive. We are grateful to have her with us this evening to open tonight's address. Please join me in welcoming our special guest, Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury.
City of Albuquerque is broken down into various districts. It's a larger city, so it's broken down into various districts that various council members represent.
All right, good evening, Albuquerque! I am Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury, and I am so deeply proud not only to represent New Mexico's 1st Congressional District, but to be your hometown girl, a homegrown New Mexican who grew up right here in Albuquerque, and to be on the front lines and defending our city and our communities every single day in Washington, D.C. I want to welcome you all to the state of the city. I'm so grateful to be here tonight to talk about the work that we are doing in partnership with the city to protect Albuquerque and New Mexico and to build a truly brighter future for all of our communities. And as a native New Mexican, as somebody who grew up in the North Valley and the West Side and went to Albuquerque Public Schools, as somebody who loves this town with all my heart, I am so proud to be on the front lines doing this work for our communities. Now, I know it goes without saying that we are living through truly unprecedented times. Unprecedented attacks on our democracy, on the Constitution, on the rule of law, on our communities, including on this community, and just attacks on our common decency. There's not a moment that goes by where I don't feel like we are living through a historic time and that we have to make sure that we use every moment to fight for our communities. And I know that our people are struggling. The cost of living, housing, food issues, transportation, the addiction crisis that is so ravaging our families and our communities, public safety, our healthcare system, which is so difficult to access, and attacks on our basic civil liberties and basic human rights. In a word, which you all, I'm sure, know,
this fucking idiot doesn't understand what rights and liberties actually are.
Which is why it is more important than ever that we stand together as one Albuquerque, as one people, to defend our communities and to fight for what we believe in. That means not only fighting back against the attacks on our rights and tackling our biggest challenges, but also harnessing the creativity and the brilliance of our people to build a future that is big enough and bold enough and worth fighting for. Over the last several weeks, I've had the incredible opportunity to crisscross our district, which includes 10 counties across central New Mexico. From the top of the Sandias to the valley I grew up in, I can tell you one thing about New Mexicans. We are strong, we are resilient, and we are up for the fight. And that is what gets me out of bed every day to serve our people. But it's very clear that we have a lot of work to do, especially here in this city. And so I want to talk just for a moment about how we are working with the city to deliver on the issues that matter to our communities. Since becoming your Congresswoman, we've delivered millions of dollars in federal funding to Albuquerque to tackle the housing and affordable housing and homeless crisis. Millions for housing for seniors, for families, for young people. We funded the state's very first youth homeless shelter here in the city of Albuquerque. And just last year, we helped to complete the building of our city and our state's very first veteran housing campus right here in Albuquerque. We've delivered millions to address the addiction and behavioral health crisis, working hand in hand with First Nations Healthcare Clinic, helping to build a brand new behavioral health and addiction recovery campus in the International District. We're helping to deliver on the Sobering Center here in Albuquerque and new housing and addiction recovery programs on the west side, and are helping to launch the very first behavioral health clinic and community center in the town of Bernalillo to address our issues on the north side of town. But it's not enough, obviously, to just address these issues. We also have to make sure that our communities are safe. And that's why I'm working every day with our federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement to deliver tools, not sound bites, but tools that actually help keep our communities safe. Because talk is cheap, and any politician can come before you and tell you that they want to solve problems. But actually solving the injustices and structural problems that have held down the people of this city and this state for generations takes waking up every single day and dedicating your work to getting it done. So that is why we are working to crack down on crime, to get fentanyl off our streets, to address the addiction crisis, and yes, to ensure that everyone in our community feels safe, including the people that the current administration is currently trying to target on our streets. We are also investing in education because all of this change means nothing if we're not investing in the next generation of New Mexico. We've delivered millions for early childhood education. I was the lead sponsor of federal legislation that you all helped pass to make New Mexico the first state in the United States to guarantee early childhood education and free college and trade school for all.
Right, Portola, right?
We've delivered millions for Head Start programs in our tribal and rural communities, funding for APS and mobile health units for students that don't have access to healthcare, to youth programs, to UNM, SIPI, and CNM. Go Lobos! And it's why we're investing in the future of this city, because not only are we a place of history and grit and resilience, but we literally are building
Nice,
the
Charles.
economy of
Welcome
the
in.
future. We've delivered millions to invest in our national labs, the clean
Right,
energy
right.
economy, homegrown, made in America, New Mexico jobs here in Albuquerque. I helped to pass the CHIPS and Science Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, and yes, to pass the PACT Act, which is the largest investment in veterans benefits in modern history. And just a few months ago, helped to pass one of the first pay raises of significance for our active duty military. Finally, all of this is part and parcel of protecting this place, this special place that we call home.
For sure.
Our precious lands, our waters, and our ways of life. Every day we work with our tribes and our land grants
totally.
to protect the cultures, languages, and places that make our communities who we are. We are fighting to protect our public lands and stop the sell-off of our public lands, and to revitalize and protect the precious and life-giving waters of the Rio Grande, which is just behind us. But our work is just beginning, and we are so grateful to have strong, steady, tried and true leadership here in the city of Albuquerque.
She's reading a script. everybody.
Grateful to
Yeah,
have
she's reading a
leadership
script.
both in the mayor's office and the city council who understand that real change is about addressing long-term injustice, about reforming institutions, about the lack of investment for generations in our
Right,
people
Ellie,
and in
right.
our communities, and understanding that we have to stand up and fight for our communities if we're going to have a future that serves them. And so every day, I am so grateful
Matt.
to be able
Exactly
to
right.
work
Well
with
said.
your mayor and your city council, because just like all of you, I love this city. It's not just my home, it's who I am. And you know, as I travel the country, a lot of people tell me they like my fierceness, and I tell them, I'm just from Albuquerque, and we like to fight. So, as we face these dark and uncertain times, I want to tell you that I am here in the fight, doing the work in the trenches with all of you, and so grateful for your original homegrown mayor, Mayor Tim Keller. And I want to welcome
She's a tweaker, gotta
his
be.
amazing wife, who's a colleague and fellow water nerd, to the stage, who's going to introduce the mayor, Albuquerque's First Lady, Kristen Keller.
She botched it. She messed up the lady's name. Fucking idiot.
Good evening, Albuquerque. Let's give another round of applause to Congresswoman Stansbury. We are so grateful for the courage, the energy, and the
agree,
hard
Trish, I
work
agree.
she brings to representing Albuquerque and New Mexico every day. And of course, as Melanie has noted, as homegrown girls here in town, for all the years she and I have worked together, it wasn't until tonight that we realized we had the same fourth grade teacher and lots of wonderful memories to share. So I want to thank our city staff, our wonderful community partners that are gathered here, and the incredible team at the ABQ Biopark for making this evening's event possible. Great round of applause. I also want to thank all of you for being here on this beautiful evening. Whether you've been coming to the Biopark for decades, or for some of you this might be your first time, we are so thrilled to have you here tonight to celebrate the city together. We also want to give a shout out to everybody in Albuquerque who is working hard in ways big and small to create a bright future for all of our kids, for all of our families, and for our entire community. Now, like many of you, back to school season always has Tim and I reflecting on the incredible community that is helping us to raise our kids, but also stepping up to support families all across our city. And this year, as we dusted off the protractor for fifth grade math, and we got the cups to quarts and the pounds to ounces conversion tables out, we've also been talking about all the different ways that we measure things. There's the years that pass, there's inches, which is Maya's favorite now, as she'll casually just throw her arm over my shoulder and speculate about how long it will be until she's a full inch taller than I am. And then there's the teams, including the many incredible teams in our city that support families throughout the summer and all year long. So many of which you see represented here tonight. So for Tim and for me, one of the really special things about getting to raise Maya and Jack in the town we grew up in is the incredible community that makes it all possible. We are fortunate to be supported and surrounded by parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, all of whom are intertwined in our daily lives and our weekly routines. And like many of you, we also rely on an extended network that includes friends, neighbors, teachers, coaches, librarians, lifeguards, bus drivers, community center staff, and so many more. And one of the truly amazing things about getting to serve our hometown as mayor and first lady is that we get to work side by side with each and every one of you to ensure that families have access to the resources and to the networks they need. And as I think about our journey over these past few years, I am deeply inspired by all of the teamwork that has gone into strengthening the services we provide and creating new ones to fill some key gaps, so that together we continue to create a future for all of Albuquerque that is safe,
people's money,
inclusive, innovative, and sustainable. The hard work and meaningful progress we get to celebrate together tonight, and our priorities for the important work yet to come, all reflect our enduring commitment to supporting the families and communities that are the lifeblood of this city. And we cannot thank you enough for stepping up to serve with us as we fight for a brighter future together. So as I think back about these past 8 years, look, I am first and foremost grateful for what an incredible husband, father, son, and brother Tim is. But I also deeply admire the values, the vision, the hard work, and deep, deep love for our city that he brings to his work every single day. When forces try to divide our community, Tim has always had the courage to do what's right, to show up for all of our families, and to show that here in Albuquerque, we are always stronger together. He understands that real leadership means having difficult conversations, making tough decisions, and not giving up when things get hard.
Also, welcome in.
And rather than applying Band-Aids to symptoms, Tim and the incredible team of city leaders that are gathered here tonight have led the deep work necessary to build the foundations for generational progress on safety, inclusivity, and opportunity.
Oh, God.
Because we all know that our families deserve better systems and lasting change, not just today, but for the decades
Fucking
to come.
inclusion. Oh my god.
So thank you again for being
funny
an
as
important
fuck.
part of this work. And now please join me in welcoming up the team I love beyond measure, Maya, Jack, and Tim.
Sorry about that. Had to mute it. Copyright music.
All right,
Had to
good
mute it.
evening, Albuquerque. Isn't this a beautiful evening at our Botanic Garden?
Actually, it is.
From our family to yours, we want to thank you for being here
Right,
on this
right.
beautiful night in our own Botanic Garden. You know, this place actually shows us what happens when we nurture something that can last for generations. That same commitment is why we're here tonight, to keep building Albuquerque's future. You know, when our team first took office, this Botanic Gardens was looking a little worse for wear. Some of you may remember that the Heritage Farm was a shadow of what it was in its best days. This stage was really worn out, and there was an old ship in the pond outside the aquarium. So remember this, I was like, why is there a pirate ship crumbling in the pond of the aquarium? This is what this facility was like. But the promise of things like a train, a new exhibit, a splash pad, they were just ideas. Now look around you. You see a new stage. There's actually Highland cows roaming the Heritage Farm. There are crops growing in the field that we're going to harvest together in just a couple of months. And there's a splash pad on the way. And this fall, for those of you or your kids who like trains, there is going to be an old-timey train that actually runs around this very facility. That's right, so the biopark is making a comeback that is going to last for generations.
Right, man, right.
So this story really, in some ways, mirrors our city. Now, don't get me wrong. I see what you see. Challenges seemingly all around us. Addiction-driven crime and homelessness. Families worried about rent. Guns in our schools. And parents targeted by
Right,
ICE.
it really is.
If there were easy solutions to these long-term problems, I promise you I would have fixed them in a heartbeat. I assure you, the challenge is that it takes lots of hard work. But now, alongside those challenges, are signs of progress and of resilience. And they remind us that we can actually hold our community together and we can lift up Albuquerque. To understand where we're going, we have to be clear about where we are. Tonight, we will talk about what we have built and the work still ahead of us. But first, we have to acknowledge this is a pivotal moment in Albuquerque and in our democracy. Because
Right,
our
I
democracy
agree.
is being tested all over this country like we've never seen before. Fear is being used to distract and to divide us. We've seen federal raids that create panic. We've seen threats to critical funding. So no matter what your
Keller's
politics
reading
are,
the script too.
and also no matter who is in the White House, I will stand up for all of Albuquerque. And we will push back on the policies that seek to tear us apart. Because in this city, we protect people with not just words, but also with actions.
No, you don't. You put innocent people in cages. That's fucking
We all need to feel safe, especially when we have to call our police in our time of need. That's why I signed an executive order in defiance of illegal ICE raids. That's why we banned federal agents from entering city facilities without a warrant. That's why city employees cannot ask immigration status. And that's why our tax dollars cannot be spent on anything having to do with immigration roundups. Now also, we will not jeopardize our critical resources. In fact, we're fighting in court to protect funding for public safety, funding for housing, for schools, and for vital resources. Because that is what it means to defend Albuquerque, standing
schools.
firm on our
Get rid of
values
it.
and protecting our community. It also means working alongside our advocates, many who are here tonight. And so now let's hear from one of them who has been leading this fight for decades.
My name is Fabiola Landeros. I'm the Civil Rights and Immigration Organizer with El Centro de Igualdad de Derechos. 11 years working for El Centro, and it's because my brother was detained. He didn't want to wait in detention, so he signed his deportation. That's the reason that I'm the only one from my family living here, also because many of my compañeras, my coworkers, come from the community, and every single one of us knows what a detention and deportation does to a family. Story is one of many. That's why we're getting up every day and doing this work that we do. Under this new federal administration, we don't feel support. Families are living in terror. For me, community safety means that I can walk free in the streets, that I can go to church, that I can come to work, I can go and leave my kids to school without fear. We make sure that every single Porqueño feels safe. We don't see a difference based on how my skin color is, how I sound when I speak, if I have an accent or not, that I feel free to speak my language when I'm out there in the streets without the second thought in my head that someone is gonna tell me, go back where you come from. It's really good to see the city of Albuquerque now is standing with us. During past administrations, we didn't have that. This administration believed and keeps families together. For us, that's the most important thing. Our immigrant worker families have the same right to any family to be together. The city is ready to fight back with the community, for the community, listening in what the community has to say, and our communities appreciate that.
Thank you, Fabiola, for working tirelessly to build a city where everyone can belong. From beyond what's happening to DC, these are tough times for cities everywhere. Fentanyl, a shortage of housing, rising prices are hitting us all hard. And on top of all of that, we have our own Albuquerque challenges that have been long-standing issues for decades. We've often had good ideas, but we've stopped short of what was needed to actually make them happen. When I took office, you asked me to do the real work, to face our challenges head on. And I committed to owning our future and shaping it to reflect Porqueño values. But real change takes time. It's not like just flipping a switch. We're just trying something new. Deep change takes relentless dedication. Every day you wake up in the morning, for years, doing the real hard work. And today, projects years in the making are finally showing results. Now, we still have a long way to go, but the path is clear. Follow through, match investment to scale the problem, and deliver on lasting outcomes we all deserve. Now, consider how this has played out as we took on crime. 10 years ago, crime started going up. Our police department was under a DOJ consent decree. Officers were leaving. Pay and morale were at all-time lows. And pay alone was not enough. We actually already did that. The department had to be rebuilt. And we also had to literally rethink how to fight crime. So we turned to technology and to civilians, and it's having an impact. Now, we've completed the DOJ reforms, we've restored morale, and we're rebuilding trust. We've added technology like gunshot detection, automated speed enforcement, thousands of cameras, license plate readers, and drones, and we know it's working. But we only have this platform in 20% of our town. I want the crime-fighting technology shield for everyone in the city.
He wants mass surveillance.
Thank you.
Okay, he wants mass surveillance.
And here's why. Consider this. A decade ago,
mass
there was a
surveillance
50% chance you could shoot
try to root
someone
out
in
wrong
this town
think.
and get away with it. Today, if you shoot someone, there is a 95% chance we will find you and put you in jail. That is the difference with crime in Albuquerque today. Safety is not just about policing. Here in Albuquerque, we have led the way with something no other city in America had the courage to try. The Albuquerque Community Safety Department is the nation's first 24/7 alternative 911 response department.
All these people clapping. This is classic Stockholm syndrome.
They have taken 120,000 calls that police and fire did not have to, And they've also gotten the right response at the right time to people who need it. Now, when you put this together, the results show this for the first time in 10 years. Every crime category is finally going down. We've just got to keep going. Now, we see a similar story when it comes to our challenges on our streets and our unhoused and homelessness. You know, until a few years ago, the only option for somebody on our street to find help was to actually take a bus to a shelter run by a well-intentioned nonprofit. So if you were on the street late night, or it was the weekend, or you were struggling from addiction, there was literally nowhere for you to go. And on top of that, there was also no pathway to housing, because the problem was amplified by a shortage of 20,000 homes in our city. And to top it all off, the city didn't even have a single employee dedicated to housing or homelessness full-time. Unlike most major cities, Albuquerque simply never took on this problem directly. Now, that's all changing. After lots of problem solving and lots of hard work, we have created the Gateway network of specialized sites for housing navigation,
Dude, how you
addiction
doing?
recovery,
Good to see you.
medical care, support for seniors, teenagers, and families. Now, let's hear a little bit about how this is helping Ashley.
I was 27 years old in active addiction with a 5-year-old daughter. My husband, at the time my daughter's dad, had just passed away. My mom had passed away a year before that. I left my home because it was just too hard being there, right? So I was just bouncing all over with my daughter at the time in full-blown active addiction. There was no help. There was nothing except rehab. I ended up getting myself together. I've been clean ever since. My name is Ashley. I work for YDI as a family navigator. The reason I started working for YDI is I wanted to help families, I wanted to help kids, I wanted to be part of the solution instead of the problem. At that time, what would have been helpful for me is to have a place I could go with my daughter where I could get rehab and I could get housing assistance and I could get employment assistance all in one place. There was nothing like that then. I think that the city of Albuquerque, Gateway, and YDI collaborating to help these families be successful is a blessing. Together, we're going to really make a difference in the city of Albuquerque and a difference in children's lives, especially for generations to come.
This is all propaganda bullcrap.
Ashley's experience with homelessness and recovery, it has made her as a peer support worker especially powerful. Thank you, Ashley. Now, because of what we've talked about before, we now have a around-the-clock support service system for our unhoused. It has a long way to go, I know that. But ACS transports dozens directly from the streets into care at the Gateway every night. And in the Gateway, we provide pathways from the street to treatment, to housing. And now we're doing that for 1,000 people every day.
Taxpayer dime.
And we know we've got to do it for a whole lot more. And we also know that within a year, with your help and with council's help and with the county and the state's continued help, we can do that for another 1,000 next year.
This whole thing's a fucking
Now, speaking
campaign.
of housing, we've drastically changed the things that determine how and where we build our houses. And a lot of this has to do with our zoning codes. And what we've been hard at work doing is trying to adjust them so that we reduce sprawl and we reduce segregation. And we also encourage inclusive density. And so to date, the city has actually built 2,500 affordable homes and linked them to vouchers and prioritized housing first, doubling the previous pace. This is part of a meet people where they're at, all of the above, layered approach that has taken years to envision, to build, and to run. But finally, in just the last year, it's showing results. Still, it's too much to tackle alone. Fortunately, continued support from our city council, from our state government and county government, our federal partners, we can utilize everything we can for homes, from cottages to quick build homes to repurposed hotels to help more folks find stable housing. That's right, this is the real work. It is not easy. But I know sometimes it also means dealing with well-intentioned but maybe misguided pushback. It does mean politics, whether it's the council or the state. It also means hard choices, and that's what we are determined to make. Because we are showing that we've got the grit to stick with what matters, to solve serious problems, and to build systems that last. We are grinding forward to level us up into the city we know we can be. This month, we launched Housing Now. It's the next phase of our Housing Forward initiative. This means from young adults starting out, to families building a life, to seniors aging in place. Albuquerque needs more homes now. So instead of putting up barriers, we are actually initiating programs that legalize density, that legalize mass transit and housing variety. That's what we need in our city. So we're gonna fix up our older homes with rehab that need disrepair. We're gonna add in infill options. We're gonna strengthen renters' rights so that tenants have more time and flexibility and transparency for those out-of-state landlords.
Totally, Rami.
And we're gonna offer our own city land for housing. We're gonna streamline permitting, and we're gonna turn vacant hotels and office buildings, like that Wells Fargo building downtown, or that Bank of the West on Central and San Pedro. Those are gonna be mixed income housing going forward.
That's Central and San Mateo. Central and San Pedro.
Now, beyond our lack of housing, we know that
He's
the
an idiot.
economy is
It's
also
not Central and
pushing
San
people
Pedro.
out
It's Central
of
and
their
San
homes.
Mateo.
Inflation,
Next block down.
high costs,
He's an
lack of
idiot.
access to capital. They make it harder for our kids and our grandparents to live independently. So we've got to do all we can to ease this burden on our families. You see it in the price of a breakfast burrito, the increases in rent to electricity and childcare. Families are getting stretched thinner each and every day.
For those here in Albuquerque,
This is why
he
we're
was
rolling
talking
out
about
the
the big,
city's
tall,
first
former
ever
bank
program
building
to
at
try
Central
and
and
actually keep
Central and San
costs
Mateo.
down for all of us. In food deserts, we are not going to wait any longer for big chain grocers. We're going direct to local farmers and to our own heritage farm, and we're going to connect local growers with folks who can't access or afford healthy food. And for everyone, literally everyone, we are freezing fees citywide. By the way, the staff at the city didn't even know I was going to say that, so I know we're going to have to work on that, folks. But we got to do this to help everyone out there. We're going to freeze fees citywide. That means from preschool to the zoo, swim lessons, restaurant permits, pet care, and we're going to offer free gym memberships at all our city facilities and keep the buses free. And we're going to look at broadening our housing efforts to also include down payment and rehab assistance, because we want you to stay in your house and also be able to keep it for the next generation. So rather than government being part of the problem,
talking about
we're
freezing
literally
fee,
going to try and keep
F-E-E-S,
costs down.
fees.
That was our CFO clapping.
I agree, Portola. I agree.
So I grew up in Albuquerque. I think most of you know that. And it formed who I am today in every way, just like our Congresswoman shared. And like many of you, my kids are in APS. And part of keeping families here is also making sure that our kids have a bright path forward. So at the city, we've got to double down to reduce teen violence. So we're going to partner with APS and the county and the United Way to save our kids.
Oh, God. Stupid. Fucking stupid.
First, our violence
Think of the
intervention
children.
program, now
Fucking
in
idiot.
3 high schools, it pairs students already who are in the juvenile justice system with formerly incarcerated mentors, but they provide accountability and family support. This program has boosted grades 80% for every kid in it, and it has cut future crime amount by the same 80%. That is why we need this in all high schools in Albuquerque.
No, we don't.
Second, this year our high schools are actually starting on a transformational new approach to education. Many of you may not have heard about this, although APS has announced it. But what they're doing is they're embedding career academies inside our high schools. And they're giving students a clear pathway to jobs in fields like infotech and healthcare and other professions to fill our city's workforce gaps. And the city is all in to support with our new Child Wellbeing Impact Office. They're going to tie these efforts to thousands of kids that are in our before and after school summer programs. This promises to be, over the long term, it's in 3 high schools right now, and it'll be 10 next year, and then it'll be every high school in the state, and it'll involve thousands of internships, including many of those at the city of Albuquerque. The third thing we want to do for our kids is offer more for them to do to keep them safe. This is what we've been experimenting with the Summer of Nonviolence, a program with the county that combines recreation, wellness, youth jobs, peer reinforcement, and mental health support. And it's a way to steer kids away from violence. But we need this program year-round, and so that's what we're committing to today. So now let's hear from Julian how meaningful this mentorship can be as a catalyst for success.
So I faced a lot of challenges in school. I started freshman year. My father, he had left out of town to go work. I started getting out of order, started acting out, ditching school a lot, was not paying attention. I kind of just came through this decision that I wanted to go and pursue something else, be something. I started looking at career paths, looking at different opportunities I could take.
Mentorship programs are one of the catalysts when it comes to our youth excelling and being in this position where you can actually share knowledge, being able to help them walk through different processes, pass on what you've learned to them is just really important to me, and I really enjoyed sharing my experiences with Julian.
Ken always knew how to get my confidence going again, you know? Whenever I was feeling down or feeling like I didn't know what I was doing at all, I would talk to Ken, and Ken would help me guide through the motions and teach me that there's multiple ways to an answer, not just one. Getting 4 chords of academic achievement and honor was definitely a surreal moment. I didn't think it was possible, especially the past I had. I know that me doing this for the city brings it to other kids and shows them that sports and all these other things aren't their only choice. There's a million opportunities out there. And I really wish this one is one that more kids learn about.
Right, Rami, right?
With
They
mentors
really
like
did.
Ken, Julian's built a future in Albuquerque. So we're strengthening our future, and that also means investing in the heart of our neighborhoods and creating third places beyond home and beyond work and school where people can connect with each other. You know, in past decades, we built quickly without making sure that every neighborhood had a gathering spot within walking distance. So we've been starved for more iconic destinations, whether it's Nob Hill or Edo or Old Town. These demonstrate how neighborhood anchors can create community and create jobs. That is why they're at the core of our vision for the future. At downtown, at 7th and Central, a once troubled block now has a boutique hotel, a new brewery and cafes. There's a C&M Film Academy that is bringing hundreds of students to the rail yards this winter, and we're working on bringing UNM next. This is all part of a belief that government should help, but we should also know when to step aside. And in fact, that is why we're giving downtown its own power, letting it decide what to do with $200 million of its own tax revenue. And it's not just downtown. Nuevo Atrisco, out on the west side, now has food courts, housing, a library, and a transit hub. We've got places like Tin Can Alley, Sawmill, The Bridges, Green Jeans. They're all growing into vibrant neighborhood hubs. So we want to build our strong neighborhoods today. But I also know we have to step back a little bit and think about preparing for breakthroughs that will shape Albuquerque for generations to come. Now, every so often, a city gets a chance to seize an opportunity that will define its future. The last time that happened was actually when the labs arrived. Our population doubled, and Albuquerque entered decades of economic prosperity. Now, the next game changer is upon us. It's something many of you may not have heard of before, but it's called quantum computing.
Yes.
It is
I
unlike
have heard of.
regular computers that work with ones and zeros. It actually does ones and zeros at the same time. And so what this means, it actually can solve problems far beyond the reach of traditional computers. This thing, quantum computing, that many of us have never heard of, will transform medicine, will transform energy efficiency, and will transform artificial intelligence. And it will decide the next era of innovation for our entire country.
The problem with quantum
Albuquerque
computers
is
right
actually
now,
positioned perfectly with the Quantum Collaborative, the Q&M efforts, Roadrunner Ventures, and the state's Quantum Corridor. All of these are already in motion. So, I have tasked our Economic Development Department to focus on two goals. One is laser focused locally. It's that we should get 100 local businesses to create 100 new jobs so that we have 1,000 homegrown new hire opportunities. We all need that for our small businesses. The second is our chance to move from chasing technologies to creating source technology by becoming a global leader in quantum computing. These two efforts can create careers that our kids will stay here for and that will bring back those who've left. So tonight, we've heard from people who have climbed through some tough challenges and about progress that we see in our neighborhoods and promising opportunities ahead. But I know what happens if you follow the news. You hear what's going wrong in Albuquerque. But when we talk to each other and when we actually look around this city, we see something a little different, don't we? It's not always easy to recognize when you're in the middle of a turnaround that's actually happening. But the signs of resurgence are in plain sight. Places that were once on the brink are now thriving again. Windrock, the Arrive Hotel, Ex Novo, Park Square in Uptown, the United Stadium at the Balloon Fiesta. These are places alive with activity. And the Sunport, it's the 7th best airport in America.
He's talking about all the areas all around the war zone, but he's not talking about the war zone
And
itself.
we rank #1 for college
He's completely
grants to
ignoring the
live
war
and
zone.
work. So we've got a long way to go, but wages are up $9 an hour in Albuquerque. We've permitted 16,000 new homes and 7,000 apartments. Let's build on that. Now, our neighborhoods have also been overlooked for decades.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Especially some of our older neighborhoods or communities of color. So we have now tried to build iconic destinations in those neighborhoods that includes parks. Parks for all of our families and everyone of every age. And now you see this in the heart of Trumbull at Phil Chacon Park in the International District. Los Altos Park is hosting regional softball tournaments again. Wells Park has the coolest playground in the state. Westgate, Martinez Town, Singing Arrow all have brand new community centers for the first time. And we have new facilities on the way.
Portola,
at
that's
Trisco
awesome.
Heritage
Portola,
and
that's very,
Cibola
very
High School
awesome.
areas.
Very glad to
and
hear
what
that.
you
That's
see
awesome.
in this is the start of what a comeback looks like.
Right now, I agree.
Now I know we have a long way to go, but for the first time in a long time, we are seeing what is working, and now is no time to abandon the progress that we've made. And I also know our city has been counted out before, but every time Albuquerque has proven the doubters wrong.
Right on test, right?
When they said the police department could not be fixed, we rebuilt a new APD. We ended the consent decree and we brought down crime across the board, and we're gonna keep going forward.
He's fucking lying out his ass. That's a bold-faced lie. That's an outright
When they
bold-faced
said
lie.
downtown can never change, we showed them 7th and Central. We showed them the C&M Film Academy at the rail yards, and we are showing them that UNM is coming up next.
That right there is a bold-faced lie.
And when
He's
they said
completely
we
ignoring
weren't
the
doing
war
enough
zone.
for homeless, we built an entire gateway network where more than 1,000 people get help off the streets and care and housing. And we're gonna do that for another 1,000 people next year.
Yay, socialism. Stupid.
And when the President
Socialism's
of the United
retarded.
States tried to tell us how to run our city, We stood up for local control and we protected immigrant families. That's why I know we can do this, because of our community. I also know it's because of our team. You know, I learned a long time ago, back playing quarterback for St. Pius, it's all about the team. And our city is led by an extraordinary team. There are a lot of city workers here tonight. Some of them might drive the trash truck past your house. Some of them might clean out the weeds in the medians. I want every city worker, can you give us a wave? And can we all thank them for all their hard work? That's right. No matter who the mayor is, the city workers put Albuquerque first, and that's what I'm proud of. And so today, on this evening, we're before you battle-tested. We are resolute, and we are breaking through. We are relentlessly pushing forward in the right direction. Now, there is still work to do, but that path is clear. It means a bias towards action. It means finishing what we started. It means we can feel a comeback on the horizon in the Duke City. That's right.
But people do anyway.
And I know I'm going to keep doing that hard work because I love this city. And together we're going to fight for a future that is safer and stronger and full of opportunity. And so after tonight, we move forward to continue this hard work. So thank you for being a part of that work tonight. Thank you for believing in Albuquerque.
Both left
and may
and right
God bless our city because we believe in each other and this great city. Thank you so much, Albuquerque.
Sorry guys, copyright music. Hey, Chief. How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Doing all right.
How you been?
Doing good. Doing good.
It's got hot there for a while.
Yeah.
Had the wind came in.
May I offer a small suggestion, please? Like once every 6 months, have your best officers sit down and drill down rights. Like you know that like First Amendment, Second Amendment, so on. Make sure all your officers understand actual rights, please.
I will. We'll do something.
All right. Thank you. Alrighty, so that was the so take a look at the amount of Stockholm Syndrome people that are out here. Holy smokes.
If everyone could please stay and stick around the stage, we're going to have a wonderful performance from our guests, and they are going to be starting in about 3 minutes. Ballet Folklorico Fiesta Mexicana. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a huge amount of Stockholm Syndrome, everybody. This is a huge amount of Stockholm Syndrome. Holy shit. Exactly, Rami. Exactly. And this whole speech, this was not a state of the city. It was an hour-long campaign between Tweedledum and Tweedledum shit. This was not a state of the city at all. And if you notice, he did not he did not mention the war zone in any way, shape, or form. So he bold-faced lied to the public about the crime numbers. He bold-faced lied. But, yeah. The amount of standoffs that I see directly conflict with his alleged crime is down bull crap. So yeah, I'm gonna head out, guys. I'm gonna head out because this after stuff is just music stuff. So I'm not gonna stick around for that. I just wanted to catch this. So thank you guys for hanging out. Have yourselves a great night, and I'll be back. I'll be back right around 2 a.m. Mountain Time. I'll be back around 2 a.m. Mountain Time downtown to see how the police treat downtown again. So hope to see everyone during that stream. Take care, everybody, and have yourself a good one. Thank you, Swine. Thank you. Always a pleasure.